what have we got? A cobia. We have two. Oh. G'day crew. In this video I'm heading up past the Cape to try trolling for some wahoo. That proved to be a bit more difficult than I'd anticipated, but I did come home with a mixed bag and a couple of surprise catches. I hope you enjoy. I got this chin weight from Mr. Bait for trolling bonito to catch some of the larger pelagic species, and this is the first trip where I've had an opportunity to use it. We'll see how it goes. Now, we want the nose to come up just about there, so these go in. Not quite as easy as I thought it was going to be. Well, no, wasn't too bad. Oops, I'll go a bit further forward. There we go. Now, a bit of rubber band. That will do. I'm onto something here. I don't think it's real big, whatever it is. Oh no, it's getting a bit excited now. Still don't think he's enormous. Not the wahoo I'm after, I don't think. Whatever he is, he's a fish in the bait. Should get a look at him soon. Oh, okay. At first glance, I thought I'd bagged the wahoo that I came after, albeit a smaller one than I would have liked. I based that entirely on the stripe pattern that they both have. Once it was out of the water and not splashing around, the differences are numerous and obvious. But for that one split second, when I first saw it, I thought I had it. Jesus, look at those teeth. Oh yeah, he's 80. And just a warning, be very wary of the teeth when you're dealing with these fish. Best bet, hit it over the head, knock it out, and then deal with it. And to misquote Crocodile Dundee, you can probably live on them, but they taste like shit. However, I'm going to keep this one as crab bait. Half a mullet from Mr. Bait and a chunk of barracuda per pot should do the trick. I'm just going to play a few seconds of the sounder video here to show you the rocky reef that I was trolling around. You can see plenty of bait holding on it and a few larger fish showing as well. The GPS coordinates are on the screen if you're interested. I got something this time. Yep, not happy. Oh, I haven't got the net. Oh, he's coming this way. What is he? Ah, bonito. Alright, well you can just come on in. That's pretty straight in the esky. There's his. And I imported the PBG data into Fish Tracks so that I could view it in 3D and therefore have a really good look at that rocky reef that I was trolling around. And since I was trolling and not surveying the area, there are some missing bits. I will try to fill them in next time I'm in the vicinity. Only about this one, I think I might have something on him. He's not big. Certainly not what I'm after. Yeah. Yeah, definitely got something on him. Oh, lost a lot of weight then. Whatever it is, I think he spat it. Or whatever it was, at least. Yep, he did indeed. Well, whatever he was wasn't huge anyway, so... Oh, I only had the two bonito as bait, and the one I caught's a bit too big, so... Put him in for burley later on, and pack this away. I might go and have a troll up at the Hutchies next. And when I decided to move from where I was trolling back up to Hutchies, I came across this ground on the way. It's outside the Flinders Reef Green Zone, but inside the Conservation Park zone that's there. So it's okay to fish, just make sure you stay clear of the green zone. As you can see, there's some isolated pinnacles as well as patches of rocky reef, all holding bait and fish. Oh shit. Something on this one. And not wanting to come in either. Oh, that's going coming this way a bit. Oh, almost. Oh yeah, here it comes again. Oh, I've got leader. I'm 30 metres for that to wind in, but... Oh, and no, still no bloody... Oh, shit, still no... Oh, he's long, whatever he is. What is he? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie dear. Jesus. Oh yeah, what the hell are you? Come on board. I did recognise that fish when I got a good look at it, but I've cut the audio out and replaced it with this voiceover because all the time I was out there I was calling it a fife fish. You know, a fife as in the musical instrument that the girls used to play in the school band back in my day. Anyway, I knew the fish, but I had a feeling I had the wrong name, So when I got home, I looked it up in Grant's guide to see what it really was called. I was almost right. It is named after a musical instrument that starts with an F, but it's not a fife, it's a flute fish. So I was close. And it's one of those fish that I've read about, and I had decided that I'd try eating it if I ever caught one, and this was my opportunity. When I got it home and cut it up, I kept a small piece to sample and cooked it up. I have to say that I was a bit disappointed in it. I found that I didn't mind the flavour so much. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. But I really didn't like the texture. So the remainder of the fish went into the freezer for crab bait. If I ever get another one, it can go back. I'm going to play some video from my Farino sounder again. This was taken as I was trolling Hutchinson's shoal. As you can see, there is a lot of structure down on the bottom, as well as some large schools of fish and bait. Some of the fish are mid-water and some are on the bottom, so there's a fishing opportunity there for everyone. And with the bait schools around, if you didn't pick up any live bait on the way out, you can still get some once you get out there. Unfortunately, I arrived to troll there just ahead of the rain, and as it turned out, the trolling wasn't very productive. Don't get me wrong, you can catch fish on dull days and in the rain. I've done it numerous times, but always using bait. I've just never done so well trolling in those conditions. Maybe I should buy some darker coloured lures for those dull days. I'm not sure. I'm fairly new to trolling. I've only done it for the last few years. But it didn't matter too much to me. Regardless of my chances of catching anything, I was in 100% relax mode. And I find it very relaxing to troll around at 2 or 3 knots. So I persisted for a while. And just while we're on the subject of dull rainy days, the other thing you want to consider when you're deciding if you want to try fishing on a dull rainy day is the atmospheric pressure. So long as the atmospheric pressure is stable, I've found that the fish bite well on baits. However, if the pressure is rising or falling by much more than about a hectopascal an hour, then I find the bite tends to shut down. That's not an exact measurement, but if the barometer is rising or falling fairly fast, I find something else to do. Unless I'm just in the mood to wet a line, I don't care whether I catch anything or not. Now, once again, I've imported the PBG data into Fish Tracks so that I can view it in 3 dimensions on my computer. And again, since I was trolling and not surveying the area, there are gaps in the data, and I'll attempt to fill them in next time I'm up there. In the meantime, what I did gather gives you an idea of the main area of Hutchisons shoal, its extents, and the direction of the principal structure, which is roughly north-south. Now, I'll also just say that being able to record video off my sounder and study it at home has really improved my ability to find new ground that I otherwise would have missed while I was on the water. A bit of rain on its way. I think it might come right over me too. Get it out and see how it goes. If the wind gets here first, I might hightail it in. The rain was coming in at Hutchies, and I had to decide whether I'd persevere and see if it improved as the tide turned, or head on into Shark Spit and try my luck there. In the finish, I decided on Shark Spit. On top, I don't think there's anything on him. Doesn't feel like anything on him. Because whatever it was bit it right off. Dang. Huh. Well, of course the bloody planer board gave it down. Now, let it be a mackerel this time. Oh, it feels like it's got a little bit of weight. Yes. Yes, indeed. About time, too. Oh, settle down. Oh, come on. Yes, I'll fix you up in a minute. This one's caught again. And we got something on him. And I think we got a mackerel again. Yes, we have. Oh. Whoa. Get that out of you. Good start. And yes, you're big enough. So, hold still. See if he can break the grinner curse. Oh, I think he has broken the grinner curse. Yeah. I think we've got a decent fish on here. Ah, yes. It is a. We have broken the curse. I don't know if he's a big one. Oh yeah, he's big enough. Yeah, okay. There's my donger.
Flat white. VMR ready day on 7-3. Nothing received from flat white.
One's up again. And I think he's got another nice fish on him. He might be bigger than the others, this one. Oh, yeah. This one's a bit hard to get in. And the board hasn't gone down. Oh, what have we got? Oh, what have we got here? What have we got, a cobia? We have two. Oh. Oh. Whoa. 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 Alrighty, let's see. Oh, come on. Oh yes. Oh yes, you're 80. So, $82. Oh, there we go. $2.9. Well, there's a bit of excitement. First cobia in the bay. Wow. Yeah, getting bled. Cobia is one of my favourite eating fish. Personally, I put it right up there with the best of the other species like snapper, pearl perch, grass emperor, tuskfish, etc. I don't know why it doesn't get a higher fork rating in the apps that I've seen and in the reviews. I guess everyone's taste must be a little bit different, but for me and for my wife, cobia is one of the top eating fish. And because cobia have such a high growth rate, they're a very sustainable fish and an excellent choice to target. That'll be. There we go. My first legal cobia in the bay. 82 centimetres and 2.9 kilos. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's another surprise catch. I wasn't expecting that. Now this was a very young fish. Cobia have a high growth rate of about 5 to 6 kilograms a year, and the record fish was 78 kilos. So this guy's a real baby, not even a year old. It's very rare that I've done this, but here is a video of what I believe is my cobia just before it took my lure. As you can see in the 3D view, there are 7 fish down there. There are 3 about 10 metres down and another 4 about 16 metres down. I'm not sure which of those fish ended up being my cobia, but they were in exactly the spot where my lure was hit. So I feel fairly confident in saying that it was one of them. Pretty cool to get that shot. The fish was still on, and it wouldn't get dark for another hour and a half, but I only had 3 hours sleep the night before, so I was tired enough to call it a day and find an anchorage. You can see the time on the screen there. I headed down towards the sand hills, but I saw there were already a few boats in there, so I decided to go into shore a little bit north of there. It's still quite a sheltered area, and it also kept me a little bit closer to Shark Spit, so I could go trolling again in the morning. And when you anchor up overnight, I always let out at least 4 times the depth of water in road. Note that that is road. The length of the chain doesn't count in that measurement, just the road. 3 times the depth is plenty during the day, but at night, while you're asleep, you should allow a bit more as a safety factor. And speaking of safety, make sure you set your anchor watch alarm on your MFD in case you do drift. I haven't seen a modern MFD without an anchor watch feature, but if yours doesn't have one, you can download an anchor watch app for your smartphone. The GPS in your phone might not be as accurate as the one in your MFD, but it's still better than nothing. Whatever you use, make sure that you adjust the anchor watch radius to allow for the swing of the boat, but not so big that you can get into trouble before it goes off. Now, I don't have a sunset picture for this trip because it was still daylight when I went to bed. I had a bite to eat I was so tired, I just flicked the anchor light on, crawled into bed and slept through till about 4 o'clock in the morning, which suited me just fine because that was a good time to get up and prepare to go trolling again. See how the end of the rod's moving there, just vibrating a little bit? That tells me that the planer board's doing exactly what it should. It's wriggling around side to side, putting a bit of movement into the spoon as well. And if that stops, it usually means you've got some weed on the board. That is, if the board doesn't pop up. If the board pops up, you've got a fish. But if that movement stops and the board's still down, it means you've got some weed on it. It's not working properly. So you need to bring it in and clear the weed off and put it back out, because you're not going to catch anything with weed on it. You can see this rod's doing the same. There's a little bit more bend in it, probably softer at the tip, I guess, but also this board's in a little bit closer, so a little bit more pressure on the rod as well. I always find it very tough trolling spoons on overcast days like today. I think there's no sun to flash on the spoon, and that doesn't attract the fish the same. I get the odd few, but I don't do nearly as well as I do on a sunny day. But I'll persevere for a bit because it's relaxing. I'm enjoying myself. I've got something, I think. I think you got your mackerel. Small one. Oh, come away from the ends in there. I think you might be undersized, that one. I'll have to give him a measure. Huh. Got the outside of the eye too. Hang on. Let me just sort this out. We've got a bit of a mess here. Potentially a big mess if I don't get it worked out. There we go. Hold still. You're probably going to go back. You are. You are. Woo! 48. So if you just hold still, you can go back. Again. What have we got this time? Yeah. Hard to tell now, it's gone down. I think I got a mackerel this time. Yep. Definitely. Not big though. Measuring. Oops, daisy. We look after that. Right, let's get you up and measure you. Oh, you're 50. 51. You'll do. And here's a little bit of video taken from the Furuno while I was trolling around Shark Spit. As you can see, there's a lot of bait around and a few larger fish, although not an abundance of the latter this morning. I did manage to get a couple, one undersized and one legal, but it was hard going in the overcast conditions. It's my belief that the sun needs to be out for spoon lures to be fully effective, because as they turn over, the sun flashes off them, and I think that's what attracts the bite. But even though it was hard going, I kept trolling around to kill some time until I figured that most people who are going to go out would have already gone out, and the ramps would be quiet enough for me to head back in. I needn't have worried because I think the weather forecast kept everyone off the water. The car park was practically empty when I got back. However, after I left the boat and I was about halfway to the car to get it to back the trailer down the ramp, it bucketed down. It absolutely poured. Just in that short distance from where I was to the car, I was drenched. So there was no point in waiting for it to stop. I was already soaked to the skin. I brought the boat in anyway. Now this one with the pink trim is the lure that I was catching most of the mackerel on. I got all but one of the mackerel on this lure. Standard rig that I use for my trolling. I've got 80-pound braid on there, some 80-pound mono leader, back to the trolling board that's rigged up with 50-pound line. I've given the rig for my trolling boards in a previous video. I'll put a link in the video description for that. I'll also just mention that as well as having the lure with the pink trim on this, I also had the deeper diving planer board on it. The planer board's supposed to be rated for 8 metres, but as soon as I wasn't going at 7 knots, it was going a bit less. I'd say probably more like 5 metres. And this is a lure that caught one mackerel and the cobia. It's a Clark spoon. I haven't used them before. I picked up one at Mr. Bait, give it a go. Vero's been saying they've been working quite well. And yeah, it did. It got me the cobia. Quite happy with it. I was running it behind, again, my standard rig, 80-pound braid, 80-pound mono, down to the trolling board, which is rigged with 50-pound line. Trolling board is a 5-inch, which runs at 5 metres, but because I wasn't running at 7 knots, I was running 4.5, thereabouts. It was probably more like 3 metres down. And as I said previously, I'll put a link in the video description below if you want to have a look how I rig my boards. I gave 2 mackerel away to my former boss on the way home, and these other 2 to my next door neighbour, keeping the cobia for my wife, our granddaughter who's staying with us to finish her school year, and myself. And this is Filleting the cobia. Beautiful white flesh and very tasty. I usually cook fish with the skin on and eat the skin. My wife peels the skin off and just eats the flesh. But regardless of whether you eat the skin or not, I think that cooking the fish with the skin on enhances the flavour. But as they say, it's the exception that proves the rule, and in this case cobia is an exception. It's got quite a thick skin, and with cobia I like to skin the fillets. It's quite easy to do. All you need is a good sharp knife. Come in from the end. Get your knife down flat. And just like that. Skin off. Right, a couple of bones in there, see? As long as you've got a sharp knife, skinning a fish is really easy. And I normally don't skin them, but cobia skin's a bit tough. So, he gets the treatment. And you should get it off like that. Okay, these are skins. Do you want them cut in half?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
how big, thirds or halves?
Oh, halves.
Halves.
What is it?
That's cobia.
Oh.
There we go. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope to get another video out before the end of the year, but probably not before Christmas. So I wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And I'll wish you a Happy New Year just in case I don't get another video up. But the plan is to put another video up on the sonar series showing you how to get the most out of your sonar. Now, Christmas being the silly season, I'll just have to see how it goes. But if I don't get it up, it'll be up early in the new year. Until next time, good fishing.